happened, there's really good spiritual significance to this, so you're gonna like this story. What happened was, I said, hey, in that drawer, there's a piece of paper. We have all the stuff we ever planned. Why don't you get that out, and we'll take it. We'll go to the store, and we'll buy all our plants. Bridget got the paper out, and we went, and I'm looking at it. I said, are you sure this is right? Yeah, this is right. It's where you said it was. And so we're putting stuff in there, and we came home with 40 tomato plants. And so, okay, I'm all right with that. Prior to that, I knew I wanted to plant a garden, so I went out and I tilled the ground and I fertilized it and I prepped the soil and I broke the ground and I got it ready and I threw fertilizer and I did it again. I tilled it again. And then right before we planted a garden, I went out and I tilled it again and I made that soil nice and soft and fine and got everything perfect. And then we planted the garden. And then after we planted it and I seen that it took root, because every day until I noticed that things were starting to grow, I went out every day and looked at my garden. I went out and I poured this will miracle grow, and I went out and I fussed all over it. And then once I noticed it started taking root, I stopped. And usually there's a reason why I stopped. Because Bridget always does it. So I'll come home from work and she'll say, garden's done. All right. I don't have to do anything in the garden. But this year it was different. Bridget was sick this year for most of the summer. Most of the summer, she was in a bad place physically. I never went out to the garden. All summer long. The only thing I would do is I'd walk out back and I'd turn the hose on. And the sprinkler would run and turn the hose off. Every once in a while I'd go out and I'd tie the tomato plants up. I'm not really paying much mind to it. And at one point, that garden was, I'm telling you, I had tomato plants this big, and they were never pruned, so they were running every which direction they wanted to go. And I didn't put any care into consideration, and then all of a sudden, they started to die from the ground up. Everything started dying. Tomato plants, zucchini plants, all my pepper plants fell over. Everything started to die. So when I went out expecting a harvest, I wasn't getting the harvest that I expected, right? I went out thinking 40 tomato plants, I'm going to be bringing you all tomatoes the whole year. That's what I was thinking, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that because I neglected what I needed to do in the garden, and because of that, the garden failed. The harvest was not what I wanted, but you have to expect the harvest. Jesus did the same thing. Jesus talks about it in Luke chapter 13, verse 6. He says, he also spoke this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came seeking fruit on it, and he found none. Then he said to the innkeeper of his vineyard, look out, look, for 3 years I've come seeking fruit on this fig tree, and have found none. Cut it down. Why does it use up the ground? But he answered and said to them, sir, let it alone this year also, until I dig around it and I fertilize it. And if it bears fruit, well, and if not, then you can cut it down. See, Jesus expects fruit too. Jesus is disappointed with fruitless too. So we don't have to be worried about the seeds that aren't growing. We just need to make sure that we're doing what we need to do when we plant the seeds, what we're supposed to do. We do have a job to tend it. We have a job to tend it. So if I'm sowing seeds into somebody, and as long as they allow me to sow seeds and fertilize, and I'm going to prune and I'm going to help them grow. I'm going to do all these things to nurture them as long as they allow me to do that. There are times when people aren't going to want you to do that in their life. They're going to say, stop judging me, go away. Pray about it. But as long as you can, you sow into them and you nurture them and you tend them. You have to do this. This is a good work. So see the harvest. Sow for the harvest. Expect the harvest and work for the harvest. Work for the harvest. That's the last point I want to make. Jesus said, the workers are few. The workers are few. The last scripture I'm going to go to, 2 Timothy 4, chapter 4. Work for the harvest. We doctoring and teaching. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up for themselves teachers. And they will turn the ears away from the truth and be turned aside to fables. But you be watchful in all things, endure afflictions, and do the work of an evangelist. Fulfill your ministry. Do the work of an evangelist. And that's where I want to finish this at. We can see for the harvest, we can sow for the harvest, we can expect the harvest. We have to work for the harvest too. We have to do the work of an evangelist. We have to do this. And does that mean every person has to go out and preach on the street? No. But you can go be a personal evangelist. You can go be a door-to-door minister. You can go out into the streets and see people who need things. You can go minister what you have to those people. That is what we're all called to do. And one of the things that I realized, whenever there was evangelism that went on in the Bible, the church was added to. The church had growth. Peter stood up after he got baptized in the Holy Ghost and he spoke, and 3,000 got added to the kingdom. Right? So anytime that somebody's doing the work of the evangelist, the kingdom is getting added to. The harvest is being brought in. So out of all the fellowships, churches that are in our area, I don't know that anybody who's going out and crusades in our area. Who's doing crusades in our towns? Who's worried about our people? Who's going out and preaching the gospel? Churches, if we can use that word, churches have to have growth, right? But we also have to do our part in that. We have to go out and reap the harvest. We have to go out and bring it in. So when we go out and we do the evangelistic work, and you bring people in, and then you can help build them up, and then you can send them out, and then they can go do the work, and then they go plant seeds after themselves, and then they grow, and then they bring people in, and it's just one of those things that just keeps working like that. But you have to do that work. You have to do the work of an evangelist. Every single person has that mandate. It doesn't matter how you do it, just so that you do it. It doesn't matter if you don't want to stand up and scream on a soapbox, then don't. But you can go and minister to a person. You can place yourself on the well. You can sit in a place and say, I'm going to make myself available to somebody. I'm going to make myself, because you don't know who that person might be who's coming. You don't know who that might be. So the last thing I want to say is don't stop. Don't quit. Don't quit. Because to somebody, the seed that you're planting could save their life. Probably will if it takes root, because they're going to go to heaven. Don't stop sowing. Don't grow weary in sowing, because you don't know what you're sowing into. You don't know what that's going to eventually yield. Right now you may not see the harvest. Right now you may not see that growing. But as you keep sowing and you just let God take over, you just let God worry about what happens in the ground, because He's the one who caused it to grow. You just let Him do it. As you keep doing it, you just keep praying, you just keep seeking God, and you just keep planting. But don't stop doing it. And if you're not doing it, then start doing it. Because everybody has to contribute. Everybody has to have something to offer Christ. Amen. We're got 5 minutes. Anybody needs prayer this morning? We finish up. I asked you can come up front or you can stay in your seat. It don't matter to me. We'll pray. But this morning, the main thing that I want everyone to really get, I guess, is don't let your flesh control your spirit. Let your spirit control your flesh. Because if you're focused on your needs and your wants all the time, you're going to miss the harvest. You're going to miss it. Just like the disciples were worried about their food. They were worried about their bodies. They were worried about their jobs. They were worried about everything else that don't really matter. They missed out on what was happening. They missed it. So this morning I'm encouraging you. Get in the Word. Find out what it means to be an evangelist. Find out what it means to sow seeds. Find out what it means to go out and win the lost. And then I'm going to challenge you. This week, take every day if you will, but at least once, put yourself in a place where you have to minister to somebody. Place yourself on a well somewhere to where you have to go out and speak into somebody's life. Don't give yourself the opportunity to make an excuse of why you can't do it. Don't give yourself that. Take control of that emotion and say, you know what, I'm just going to walk up and tap somebody on the shoulder. Nothing wrong with that. Make yourself do it.
this. I wasn't going to participate in the service other than just sit and absorb like everybody else this morning. But I can't hardly help myself. Dusty said something this morning. He said a lot of good stuff. But he said something that I just can't get it out of my face, out of my head. When he said, we see in our government and the leaders. And so, listen to me. As the leaders are, so goes the whatever. Country, organization, church. Okay? And when he said about the Republicans sowing bad things into the Democrats and the Democrats sowing bad things into the Republicans, when he said that, I seen the red, the Republicans, and the blue, the Democrats, divided over the continent of America, and they were bleeding into the country. And this thing that our leadership is doing in our country is affecting our whole country. How many of you watch the news? The news, they're the culprits of this thing. Okay? And, one's going one way and one's going another way. And they're bringing tension and division to this country. They're feeding us. When he said that, I seen the blood running into our country. And some's red and some's blue, but then there was some that was white, and very few that were white. And I said, Lord, what is this? He said, that's the church. That's the church. The red and the blue doesn't affect the church. Because the church, the kingdom of the church, is not this apparatus. It's the church that's going to sow seeds of love into our country. The news did this, and now the news is trying to figure out what are we going to do to fix our country. Do you know what I'm talking about, or am I? That's what's going on right now. They're trying to say, what has happened to our country?
Fall.
Oh, is it fall?
We're falling down, and these other countries are laughing. They know we're leaving our faith in the Lord.
Yeah, thank you, Kenny. This country was founded in one nation,
Yes.
under God.
Right.
And it's not anymore. As the Lord showed me, the church is still here. The church is